And it's Good News with Dick Baumbach. And I'm Jeff Heiser from Success and Intentional Lifestyle. And how are you today there, Mr. Baumbach?
I am doing fine, and I'm standing up for America.
Standing up. And listeners, he actually is. He wanted to try something new and healthy in the studio, and he's standing up in front of the mic. And we'll see how this all works out. I'm still sitting down, and we're going to go into our first story for Good News this week. And Mr. Baumbach, you have a story here that you alluded to last week. High school track coach reports error that leads to a loss of state title.
This happened in the Boston area, and it's a track and field coach. His name is Derek Herber, and he saw his team win the second straight Division II outdoor championship, and against Central Catholic. His team was North Attleboro, and they won by 69-68. The next morning, he was crunching numbers in his record book, and he had a difficult time getting to the 69, and he realized the officials made a clerical error in scoring the finals of the 110 meters.
Wow.
He contacted them and said, no, it's not fair. They need to win.
Wow. You know, how many coaches do you think would do that?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Unfortunately, my experience has been there's a lot of coaches that just want the win. Any way it can come, they want the win.
And here's Derek. He says, no, that's not correct. I'm going to be honest about it.
Right. Yeah. What did is there anything about what the school said? Or
the schools, both schools honored him, and the association said it's the first time it's happened in their history.
Wow. It reminds me, like I said last week, about that commercial where the team is playing basketball and the kid, knocks the ball out. The ref calls it on the other team, and then he has to tell the ref that, no, I knocked the ball out.
Right. Exactly. And that's people being honest.
You know, I have to share with you about, I watch baseball all the time, and my favorite team is the Rays. And the other night, Evan Longoria is up to bat, and the ball gets thrown, and the umpire says that the ball hit Evan. And actually what it did was it hit off the end of his bat. And he's saying, no, it hit off the end of my bat. And the umpire saying, no, take first base. And he's going, no, I want to hit. It hit off the end of the bat. And it's like one of the first times that I've seen the batter go to his manager and say, I want this reviewed because it hit off the end of my bat. It did not hit me. And sure enough, it did hit off the end of the bat. But, I mean, how many players do you see do that?
Well, see, that's people being honest. But maybe, it will someday we'll have less of these stories because people are doing it.
Right. I just thought it was a great example for young people. So the next story leads right into this, actually. Minor league ball player's first home run is caught by dad.
Yep. And this is Conrad Gregor. He is the Astros, and it was his first Midwest League game, and he hit a home run, and the person who caught it was his dad in the stands.
Now, what are the odds of that happening?
That's good news for the family.
That is really good news. In fact, it's such good news, I would have went out and bought a lotto ticket that day.
Well, I think that now maybe that's like the story that we had about the bowl,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe in a couple of years, that'll be worth $2 million.
Yeah, so true. So the next story you have is about a 91-year-old woman breaks marathon record.
Yeah, this is Harriet. She's not related to the lady from a couple of weeks ago.
The judo lady at 98.
Right. Yeah, this one's 91. It's Harriet Thompson, and it took her more than 7 hours to run a marathon in San Diego, but she did it. She is 91, recovered from cancer, and she just had to do it because she said that was on her bucket list to do it.
Incredible. 91 years old. Now, was she a lifetime marathon runner, or was this something that she just went and did?
No, she just started running when she was 76.
She was young.
Right. I mean, hey, I got something to do. I'm 76.
Could you imagine starting running marathons?
76.
No. I'll be jumping out of the airplane like one of the Bushes did.
Okay.
So I want to go back to the other story about the baseball player. You know, my youngest son played Little League, and he played for a fairly long time. And my wife had just bought a brand new car, and she parked it, she thought, well away from the whole ball field and well away from anything that could happen. And he's the first batter up, and the first hit that he does is one of the longest hits that he's ever hit. And it goes, and it goes. It's foul, but it goes right through her back window.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
the car was 1 day old.
Oh, my goodness.
Right through the back window, yeah. So when I saw that about the father catching the ball, it's like, yeah, we caught the ball too. It was the car that did it.
You have share something in common there with that man.
Yeah. So the next story you have is cop buys birthday presents for boy after mom's gifts were stolen. I love hearing these, but I hate hearing these stories because, it really takes a low life to go and steal people's gifts.
Well, and this happened, by the way, in the state. It happened in Jacksonville. And the sheriff's office responded to a burglary call. The mother was devastated because her son's, all of his birthday presents were stolen from her car. And she had just purchased them with a tax refund she had gotten. And she had no money to replace them. And what Derek Practillo did, he was this officer, he put his police report together. He showed it to some other officers, and the next day they went to a store and purchased with their own money a toy police car, a birthday cake, and a card, a backpack, and they also gave him a $100 gift card.
Wow, that is a really good news story. Our sheriff here in our county is very much a guy like that.
Yeah.
He encourages his men and women to do this.
Exactly right.
And by doing it, they bring about such good news.
That's exactly it, Jeff.
Yep.
And here and again, but something we've shared. You never hear about this story.
No, you never do. You never hear about our sheriff except for when he says, you got to arm yourself and be prepared, and the cavalry will come. No, every Christmas they take hundreds of kids shopping, and they do things for their birthdays and bicycles and all this different stuff, and you never hear that good news.
Well, maybe we'll get that good news out.
Well, that's why we have Mr. Dick Baumbach at TNR, because he brings the good news.
That's right. We try and bring it every week. Good news.
We're at the end of our show. It's another good week of good news. And what do you have for us next week, Dick?
This is just a simple good news story. A kitten survives a 3,000-mile trip from Egypt to England locked in a box.
Okay, yeah, I hope it was on an airplane.
I do too.
Thank you very much for being here again, Mr. Baumbach, and bringing us your good news for the week. We will see you again next week.
Yes, sir. And have a great week. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.